Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is a review of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Commissioner Gordon with Batsignal. So let's get started. First off, I want to say thank you to Mezco Toyz for allowing me to review this nice piece. Let me tell you, I'm excited for it because while we get a ton of Batman stuff, it's very rare that we get Batman stuff that allows us to add on to his repertoire of friends and enemies and things like that. So it's good to see something like this. And what's crazy is I was thinking about how many times have we gotten a really good Commissioner Gordon, and the answer is not many. So this is one of the few times we actually get a nice ensemble of things that work for Gordon. So let's get started and jump into it. First and foremost, I want to start by saying Gordon uses the Joker body, which I know some people will be bummed about, but it's not something you should actually worry about, because if you're going to do crazy, super articulated stuff for Gordon, yes, you should worry. But if you're going to do things like police standoff, trying to stop a bank robbery, have him arresting people, this is absolutely a great figure for it in that case. Otherwise, it may not be for you. But also have to think about things like Commissioner Gordon. How many often are we going to see this? But anyway, let's jump into the thing I enjoy most, articulation. So, Gordon can raise his arm up. Very easy, very simple. It uses a Joker variation body, and it's really nice. It swivels at the arms. The arm actually has enough room to go all the way up, so you actually can uppercut an opponent if you want. So, yeah, let's say if you were in a fight. As you can see, you have that very nice extension to do a Shoryuken if you felt like it, right? The outfit is a nice color. It's not your typical white shirt Gordon. I actually like this different color shirt for Gordon, and it works out well, especially for what you're going to see later, and I'll talk about that. Now, Gordon has a nice belt here, and the thing about the belt is it comes with 3 holes on the side, and that is for placing items here, and I'll get into that later on, but first I want to continue with the articulation. Now, just like the Vigilante Daredevil, the upper torso has a modified torso joint. So Gordon can actually tuck in a little bit better than the previous Joker counterpart. And I know that's not much for some people, but being able to rotate like this and get that extra bit of range actually does come in handy when you're going to pose them up. So I enjoy that little bit of modification going forward, and it's really nice. Now, as far as the neck peg, as you can see, you can actually rotate it. It's all on one piece. Not my favorite thing, but it definitely works for Gordon for some apparent reason. As you can see here, you can look down, you can look up, which is going to be important for your Gordon, especially if you're looking up for when you're doing that bat signal shot. Now, as far as the legs go, we get extension going forward, no problem. Double jointed legs. There's thigh swivel as well. You can rotate all the way out. And you have a nice outward going on. And he has some really high socks. So, Gordon is stylish as well. They're probably Gucci, right? Anyway. Oh, you actually get a very generous ankle pivot as well, before I even forget about that. And Gordon is one of those things that he looks good no matter what he's doing, and it just works out for me. So, I'm going to jump into the accessories. We're going to get to the bat signal later. Now, the thing that I like most about Gordon is his look. He definitely has the perfect Commissioner Gordon look, and I'm going to get into that. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is this really cool young man face. So, if you have the Ascending Knight, this is Gordon that you're going to get at his prime, where he's seeing Batman on the rise. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but this is one of the things that I enjoy most that Mezco did was, why not include old Gordon as well? There are differences in it. As you can see, you see the wrinkles around the neck, the graying of the mustache. The mustache actually gets a little shorter, and but more full and firm. The pushing back of the hairline, the graying. This is all the kind of things that I like that go into effort like this, because Batman to match Ascending Knight and a Gordon head to match each level of Batman. So now you got Sovereign Knight where he's graying, and it works out really well. Batman's later on in his career at his prime. Now, these are the kind of things I always talk about where the little thought that goes a long way, and it definitely shows on Gordon. So if you have that Batman Rogue Gallery and you just want some GCPD stuff, one of my favorite things about the GCPD is Gotham Central. And it was done by one of my favorite artists and favorite writers. And it was one of those great things that centralized around the police department doing stuff. So with that, you also get really cool bulletproof vests. On the back, it has GCPD, the tag vest. These don't open up, but that's okay because the look on this is absolutely fabulous. Now, you can actually just rotate his arms through to just pop it right on. And I don't mean by pop it on, but you can actually put this on very easily. And as you can see, it rotates up, comes right on the body very, very easily, and it's very nice. And it actually zips up. Now, I always have trouble with this because the zipper is so tiny. I suggest you use tiny tweezers to gently pull up once you've connected this bottom piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do it on camera for you so you guys can see what's going on. So don't mind Gordon being upside down while I do this. It's actually the easiest way for me to do it. And as you can see, I've got that hooked in right there. Then I'm going to slide this up by holding the vest down. And voila. Now I have a very, very good Gordon prepped to go out into the world and not get hurt. At least not against normal people, because that's definitely not the case against super criminals. Now, this is my favorite part where I can now talk about the accessories. And the reason why that is because it looks better with the vest on. So, Gordon comes with one handgun. This actually slides back. There is no removable magazine. But that's not to say you can't actually swip that up with other guns. And the reason why that is because Gordon has a holster for his weapon as his sidearm, you know, as being an actual police officer. So you can actually plug this into the side, as well as sliding his sidearm right inside. Voila, looks great, right? Then Gordon has his police commissioner's badge. Or actually, his police badge, I should say. You can have him be the commissioner or officer, depending on how you want to do it. You can slide that right there. And then there's one more opening, and that's for his Walkie Talkie Set. Now, this piece is actually really dope because when I went to go put it on, I was like, wait, how do you do this? Like, where do you put it? It's actually magnetized. So just like Doctor Strange, there's going to be a magnet right on the side of the chest. And voila, this is going to just slide right in. And you plug this in here. And then voila, you have a Gordon. Now, you can actually place this on either side. This is just my configuration for Gordon. So you can actually plug it over here or swap it around and put it wherever you want. But this is just my configuration for Gordon. And if you want to swap it around and make it look like your own thing, that's totally fine as well. Now, you also get a bullet effect for your Gordon to match his weapon in the sidearm. As you saw the younger head. Gordon also comes with a watch so he can tell time to make sure Batman is never late. Because Batman's never late. Batman's always on time. Especially when you pop that signal, right? Now, as far as hands go, we get a hand for holding his badge or a shotgun, depending on how you want to look at it, right? Also the walkie-talkie, things like that. You have a dedicated hand here. Now, this is definitely for the walkie, for the dispatch piece. Now, when you take this off and you want to have him talk into it, the dispatch piece slides up from the bottom in. It slides right in to hold it very well. And this is why I had the configuration that way. Because when you slide that hand on, it looks better in his left hand. Right hand. I apologize. We have the trigger holding hand for one right side. And then we have the open relaxed palm. Now that we've covered the hands, last but not least, on Gordon at least, we have his trench coat. This came out actually really great. Ooh, my watch went flying. And I'm going to rotate this back on to show you guys that he can actually put on his jacket also while having on the tactical vest, which is always a plus for me. I hate it when you can't put on a vest over a jacket. It makes it feel clunky and silly, but it actually works out really well for Gordon. Because this is one of my favorite looks on Gordon. And this is why this is probably going to be my favorite Commissioner Gordon toy out of the very few there are. Because this Gordon looks great in this look. It's very comic booky. It's very accurate to what you would see Gordon do as he goes up against crazy criminals in Gotham City. And just looks fun. Ooh, caught him. He actually just looks great. Now he has the look, he has the feel, and it's one of those things where it's straight out of the comic book. It just looks great. These are also wired here. So what I suggest you do is if you want to get that long flowy look, you replicate it right under and go back. And then voila, you can get that long flowy look on your jacket. So if you want to walk with Gordon and do cool things, you totally can. The jacket actually can fold up as well at the collar. So if you want to get that noir look for him, you totally can. This is by far a really fun toy, albeit limited some articulation. But if you love Batman, this is obviously a must-have. And we're not even getting into the part where we talk about the Batsignal. So now I'm going to talk about that. Now, this right here is one of those things where everybody's got a Batsignal. They got the Build-A-Figure one from Mattel. All that stuff is great and jazzy. Don't care, honestly. Because this, by far, is one of the coolest ones I've seen. And not because of the signal, but because of one little thing. And actually, it's two things that I want to talk about. Now, this can actually rotate left. It can rotate right. That's cool, right? I've already cut the lever on. It says on, right? But as you can see, it's not lit up. You can actually rotate up, all the way up too. So if you want to have Batman crash into it, that would be a great idea, right? You can rotate it back down. Now, if anybody has ever watched the Batman 1989 movie, the Michael Keaton one, you would know what this is about, this lever right here. If you've ever read the comics, you already know what this lever is about. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut out my lights. Actually, I'm going to leave one light on, show you guys as I do it. Now, as I rotate this up, it comes on. And this is absolutely great. It's one of those things that I really, really enjoy this. Now, you may not think the light is powerful, but then you watch something like this, right? It looks absolutely wonderful. This looks amazing. And I know some people wanted it frosted and some people wanted the yellow light because you've done that a lot in the comics, but I enjoy this one very, very much. One of my favorite things about it, and I found it out by accident, is this. It projects the bat signal. Now, you can't tell me that you are not going to enjoy this right here as you do it all over your wall, or mess around and have it on permanent display, or even do a cool photo like this where it's Gordon or Batman kind of just looking into it. This is one of the coolest things that I've seen, and I enjoy this. Now, just to show you guys, right, I'm going to go a little off the wall with this, literally, as I go up and I go further out, and the bat signal just get bigger and bigger to the point where it's literally covering my wall. This is dope. And you just don't get stuff like that, like, all the time. So there was extra thought put into this that I truly, truly do appreciate. And that's why the bat signal is super dope. This is a piece that I must have for any Bat fan, that I recommend for any Bat fan. And if you haven't, I don't know what to tell you, but this is dope. It's a must have. Now, I'm going to back you on up right over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into size comparisons, because I know that I have been rambling on because I've been actually really, really enjoying this piece. Now, I'm going to leave Gordon right here, right? And then we're going to talk about stuff. Now, first off, I want to do Batman related stuff. So let's go with, actually, I want to start off with DC Icons Nightwing, because this is one of those things where this actually works out well height-wise with Gordon, very, very much. As you can see, not taller than Gordon, but not shorter than Gordon, depending on how you want to go at it. But you could definitely finagle some really cool shots out of that. Then we're going to work on Mezco's Catwoman, the purple suit Catwoman. Voila. Let's actually get her. There we go. I'm going to move you over because I'm going to do an all DC stuff. Then we're going to have him up next to the Ascending Night Batman. Voila. Then we're going to do him up against the Joker and Deathstroke. So let's try to get Deathstroke in there. Try to fit everybody on. Right? Yep. This actually looks good. So Mezco has done just about well, not everybody, but they've done a lot of Batman and Bat family related stuff. So I can't wait. Hopefully we'll see a Nightwing or a Robin sometime next year or the year following, but hopefully sooner than later. But as you can see, they actually look really good together. All different heights, all different looks, and it kind of just feels Batman-y. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out Deathstroke and put in Sovereign Knight Batman so you guys can see the Sovereign Knight look. And I think he works really, really well with Commissioner Gordon. I actually love this look of those two together. Absolutely stunning. So if you have the PX1, the Onyx, or this one, I think Gordon will look great with these guys. Now, let's get these guys out of here and let's talk about other lines so you guys can know what he stacks up with other stuff, right? Here he is next to a Storm Collectibles Reptile. Here he is next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. And there is something very fun I want to add in at the end that I didn't miss, but I wanted to save it for the end. Here he is next to a Hasbro Lightning Collection figure. Here he is next to a Revolve Tech Deathstroke, which also works out pretty well for you. Here he is next to a SH Figuarts Kamen Rider. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So those of you that Army Build Goons, here he is next to a Marvel Legends Chameleon. Right. Next up, 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. And then for those of you that do the movie stuff, here is a Maifix tactical suit Batman. Tactical suit Batman is actually pretty tall. Didn't realize that. Now, one of the things I wanted to jump around with, and I wanted to save this for last, because for those of you that don't do dioramas, are you always worried about where to get a diorama or try something out? One of the things that Mezco included was this little diorama scene. And I like this a lot. I really, really do. Because for those of you that are just beginning or really enjoy the Mezco stuff but don't have dioramas, this is a very great look for you. And they give you these little pieces that you fold up and cut out. Well, not actually cut out, but you fold up and you can have Gordon actually do a small display. So even if you're just a DTOF displayer, this is very safe for you to do. So you can project your bat signal. Let's turn this out. And as you can see here, you can project your bat signal just plain and simple right out and make your Gordon look cool. So if you are a DTOF guy and you just want to put it in your DTOF, fits there perfectly, just fine. If you're one of those guys who just don't have space, this also works for you. So there's a lot of effort and a lot of things going into it, thinking about it wise, that I think that they thought about, and it just works out well for many, many features. So it's one of those things where I hope you guys really enjoy this, because I've had a blast playing with this. Again, thank you so much to Mezco Toyz. And as always, guys, I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, do good, be good, drink your water, guys. Later.